My name is Hayden, and together with Matt, Ben, Sam and Ricardo, have created the mobile app MatesRates. Looking for somewhere to eat these days can be quite a painful experience. Review sites are littered with meaningless and oftentimes sponsored judgments which can leave you none the wiser to the quality of the restaurant you wish to visit. MatesRates allows you to view restaurants around the country, see trustworthy reviews and ratings from friends, and add restaurants that you like the look of to your own wish list. So the next time you are deciding where to eat, it will be a smooth and painless experience. I will now pass you over to Ben, who will give you a demonstration of our app.
I'm Ben, and I will be taking you through a short demonstration of our app. So first we have our login page, which allows users to log in with the username and password. We have the password hidden here. Once logged in, the home page will be a list of restaurant cards that you can scroll through. This uses a GraphQL query to access the information from the database. At the bottom of the app, we have a tab menu that persists throughout the app that you can use to navigate to different sections. If we click on search, we will be taken to a different page where we can apply filters. So let's say I want to find all the American style restaurants in Manchester. I just choose those filters and the list of restaurants updates accordingly. I can also search for a specific restaurant, so if I want to find a restaurant with pizza in its name, I can type that in the search bar and any matching restaurant will show up in the list below. If I click on Friend Search, I'll be taken to a new page where I can search for users to add as friends. If I search for Chris in the search bar, I can click on the Add Friend button and this will add Chris to my friend list in our database. I can also scroll to view a list of all the users, and any users that are not in my friend list will have an Add Friend button, and any who are will have a Remove button. If I click on Profile, I'll be taken to my profile page where I can see my avatar and how many friends I have. I can also view my friend list and view my wish list. My wish list will show a list of restaurants that I want to go to. Now if I click back to home and click on to the Penang restaurant, I'll be taken to the restaurant page. Here we can see the logo, a brief description and other details about the restaurant. There is also a list of reviews underneath and a button where I can add my own. If I click to add a review, I can add my review as text, add a rating out of 5 stars. When I click to submit my review, the app uses a GraphQL mutation to add the review and rating to the restaurant page. The new average rating will also be calculated and updated. Now Sam will talk you through some of the front-end technologies that we used in this project.
We wanted our app to be mobile driven, so in order to accommodate Android and iOS, we used React Native with an Expo framework. With previous experience using React, we were confident in our ability to adapt to a new but familiar framework. Nonetheless, there was a steep learning curve to the components that React Native provides. With clear and concise documentation, we swiftly gained a fundamental understanding of these components. We used React Navigation to provide structure to our app and designed a bottom navigation tab to direct users to respective screens. This proved to be a very challenging library to use, as navigating through a mobile application and on the web are very different. Web navigation is dependent on URLs, whereas mobile navigation with React Native uses screens that can stack on top of one another. Separating our app into respective screens was useful when it came to querying our database and understanding what information from the backend belonged in each section. The Expo framework provides a powerful app that could translate our project into a mock-app at any point in development. This was invaluable as it allowed us to view how our app would look and also gave detailed errors in both Android and iOS. The styling was achieved using a combination of a global style sheet for basic container and text components and some inline styling for particular custom components. Now, Matt is going to tell us about the backend technologies we've used in this project.
So the technologies that we used for the back end of this project were GraphQL as the query language, together with a MongoDB database and Apollo server to link up the back end to the front end. GraphQL is a query language that was developed by Facebook in 2015. It is relatively new. It's extremely adaptable and flexible query language to use, and it is able to fetch all the data within a single API call, and each request can be tailored specifically to the data that is required, both for queries and mutations. MongoDB we use as a database because its integration with GraphQL is seamless. They're both highly compatible, and MongoDB is very easy to scale if we wanted to develop this app further afterwards. And with the requirements that we had for the database, MongoDB fit very, very nicely. Apollo server we use because is fantastic for GraphQL specifically, because there are some slight complications with GraphQL linking up to the front end that Apollo server is able to fix and provide solutions for. Overall, all these technologies were new to us. We hadn't used them before previously, so there were some initial teething issues as we tried to implement them, but overall we were able to successfully work around them and integrate them together, and it was quite successful in use of technology.
The first problem we encountered on the front end was reusing React navigation, which was very different to any routing we had done previously with React. Our app used two types of navigation, the first being a bottom bar navigator that was visible on every screen, the second type being stack navigation, which starts a new navigation stack whenever an icon from the bottom bar is selected. To solve our navigation issues, we had to carefully plan which screen was accessible from each icon, and also use React navigation docs to ensure we were implementing it in the correct way. Another problem we encountered while developing the front end was the styling of different components. We found the styling of both React Native and React Native Elements components to be very different, and something we hadn't really encountered previously. To combat this, we used a mixture of reading the documentation available and watching tutorial videos. On the back end, every technology we used was brand new to us, which, as you can imagine, threw up its fair share of challenges. These challenges included MongoDB being a non-relational database, which led to difficulties establishing many-to-many relationships. Using GraphQL as a querying language solved a lot of these problems for us, as its in-browser IDE GraphQL allows you to visualize data and play with different queries within your browser. I will now pass you on to Ricardo, who will tell you about things we learned from the project.
We learned a lot as a team during the project phase, in particular the importance of stand-ups and agile practices. Communication was the key to successfully achieve goals and adhering to a set deadline. Understanding the GitHub workflow was essential to ensure that multiple people could work on the same repository at the same time. We made good use of Git practices such as branches, pull requests, and merges to work together on our app. By splitting our work into smaller tasks, we were able to streamline our development and improve our focus. It also boosted the morale of the group as we could easily see the progress we were making. Our planned MVP worked well with a given deadline. It helped structure the app functionality, but also what it could do at the most, giving us room to drop development ideas to ensure the deadline was met. Given another chance at developing this app, there were two technologies we wanted to implement but lacked the time. We would like some map functionality and authentication with Firebase. We will also make sure to plan in a more concise manner to ensure that development runs at a steady pace. We learned the importance of splitting tasks and planning each of those. This allowed us to focus on different aspects of our app and helped us develop a good understanding for each of the technology used. For future projects, we will devote more time to planning to ensure a professional, well-designed app, styling each element as we go. I hope you enjoyed this app, and thank you for watching.